Getting set for the opening kickoff here at the College Cup. Let's go down to the field now with Quint Kesnick.
Beth, USC coach Ali, Coach Shaheen has changed the culture of USC soccer. He was hired in January, 11 months ago, and he's focused on 3 things: discipline, work ethic, and fun, making soccer the focal point of every day for these athletes. Now, this team is most impressive in their mental approach here in the NCAA tournament. So what? Deal with it. That is their motto, and it's basically an answer when adversity hits. You've got to be uncomfortable when things are uncomfortable. After the UCLA semifinal, it was a team that was rather subdued. I have to say, Coach Shaheen was yelling out to his team, act like you've been here before. We are not done yet. Most impressive the way he's both a player's coach and a disciplinarian.
And it has worked wonders for UCLA, a team that had never been past the second round before. And here they are facing off with Florida State in the final. And we'll keep an eye on the Seminoles, who scored just 15 seconds into their semifinal win over Notre Dame, with Yamaguchi getting the fastest goal in College Cup history. And into space and nobody there. That will head over the far touchline. Florida State's in the garnet and gold. Southern Cal in their white jerseys for the championship match.
And Florida State starts with the win. The win is a factor. It's pretty strong. Let's see how USC deals with it.
All 3 of the goals in the late semifinal on Friday night were scored with the wind at their back. Southern Cal getting a couple of late goals to come from behind to eliminate UCLA. This is Mama Yamaguchi, one of the top offensive threats in the country this year. Loses possession. Liddy Gianeskis, number 12, in the garnet and gold for Florida State. And the whistle will go against Ashley Nick and Southern Cal.
USC needs to be concerned with the Florida State counterattack. They need to get numbers behind the ball. They did a really good job against UCLA, eliminating space with numbers. They need to make sure they do that today.
Becky Edwards will take the free kick with the wind behind her, and headed over the top by Erica Sutton. Here is the starting lineup now for Southern Cal.
Well, here's the key player. Olsen has to be good again. She was excellent against UCLA. She's going to need to deal with that good attack from Florida State. And then Casey Johnson and Courier in the center of defense are going to have to deal with Talanin and Yamaguchi and contain them. And then, of course, Nick, she's such a good ball winner. She's going to have to make sure that she controls the center of midfield for USC. And up top, Rodriguez was outstanding. She's going to need some help from Lauren Brown today.
Talk about timing for Amy Rodriguez. The semifinal win was the first multi-goal game of the season for her. It's been a very well-balanced attack this year for Southern Cal. No one superstar player, and that's also what Quint was alluding to with Coach Shaheen. That's kind of been his mantra with this club. Everybody has a job to do. Everybody has to kick in their part. And now Brown at midfield. They'll try and switch fields and go down the right flank. Tomer had it knocked loose. Katrine Schmidt. It is a very international flavor to this Florida State team. They've got players from 7 different countries on their roster. And here is a look at the starting lineup for the Seminoles.
We've got McNulty in goal from Canada. She's a freshman, but she's playing like a veteran. She's been very good in the tournament. And then in the center of defense, Gianeskis has been their anchor. She's been solid both offensively and given some good possession defensively as well. DaCosta is the freshman phenom. She got the winner against UCLA. And then, of course, you've got the 2 up front, Yamaguchi with so many regular season goals, but Talanin has 8 postseason goals.
Set piece here for Florida State. Yamaguchi will take the corner kick. She's got some big targets to look for as Van de Ven pushes forward into the area. And Becky Edwards right on the edge of the box. The in swinger doesn't make it through. Yamaguchi tries to settle, and it goes over the end line. Goal kick coming up for Florida State.
Well, on those set pieces, Van de Ven is very dangerous. Of course, Edwards is dangerous. And Talonen, you know, any Scandinavian player, she's from Finland, loves to head the ball.
Mama Yamaguchi has a point in every match in this NCAA tournament and is enjoying a fantastic season with a point in 22 of their 26 matches this year. Probably will be one of the finalists when they are announced next week for the Mac Herman Award, going to the National Player of the Year, the women's soccer equivalent of the Heisman. Perhaps it can be a Florida sweep with Florida's Tim Tebow winning the football honor, and Yamaguchi might bring it back to Florida State.
I don't think it'll surprise anyone if Yamaguchi is named the Herman Trophy winner.
This is Rodriguez with possession. And it's kicked over the end line. So now an opportunity for USC. Most of their scoring this season, Tony, has come on set pieces as opposed to the run of play.
And specifically Casey Johnson. Even though Rodriguez scored that last one, Casey Johnson kept it alive, and Rodriguez scored the winner against UCLA. So look for Johnson to be the target here.
Johnson's number 13 in white. Roaming around on the far post. That's who they look for. It's headed back in front, still on the ground, but knocked out the other side. Ashley Nick tried to put that one back across the goal face.
Here's that serve, one deflected and then played out of bounds, and that's a good play by the defender. Get it out of play, even if it's a corner kick, because you can set your defense. You look at the Florida State zone, it's very deep towards the goal, so there's a lot of space. For this case, Brown to run onto a half clearance and hit it.
This one low, ricochets through, still not out. Nick got a boot on it. And Talonen out across midfield. Olsen will boot it forward. Florida State trying to control, goes right to Rodriguez. She's got Brown alongside. Rodriguez with the left, dings it off of Edwards. Good hustle Rodriguez after the loose ball, won by Van de Ven.
And just as USC started against UCLA, they're putting Florida State under pressure here.
Fitness so critical to the blueprint for success for this Southern Cal team. They spent a lot of time running in the early part of the season, and in the Pac-10 conference, they do play a lot of Friday, Sunday, or Thursday, Saturday matches, so they're playing 2 games in 3 days. Not so much the case for Florida State in the ACC, where they will have a couple of days in between most of their matches. Strong with some room. Looking for Brown to run on. Able to turn it back inside. Here comes Sandoval. Spins that one right at McNulty.
Well, that's important because Brown has to have more of a presence in this game than she did against UCLA. She held the ball up well, she found the pass, and they got a shot off of that.
Off the high hopper, Yamaguchi giving chase. DaCosta looking for Talonen. Now Ashley Nick. It's good news for both these teams if we're saying DaCosta's name or Nick's name, the engines in the midfield for both these clubs. Schmidt turns it upfield. They've got Peltzer out wide. And they'll finally swing it to this side.
Well, for Florida State, Van de Ven needs to get the ball. She's going to spray it around and set where the attack is going to start from.
The deflection by Tomer to get the turnover. And then Pelcher backtrack. Just about 10 minutes into this one, the national championship match here at the College Cup. Florida State in the garnet and gold, USC in the white. Both these clubs looking for their first national championship ever. Let's check in with Quint.
Beth, the wind continues to whip down here out of the south at 15 to 20 miles an hour. That's left to right across your screen. Talked to both coaches. They said it would be a factor in terms of goalkeeper distribution, building from the back, and then crosses and corners. And for the athletes, so I think it's kind of a good news scenario. It's 80 degrees right now, and the breeze has a cooling effect.
It is a very hot day here in College Station, and the wind at about 15 miles per hour, as Quint was reporting. The run of play thus far has favored the team going into the wind, Southern Cal, but here comes Florida State with DaCosta leading the charge, and she wins the corner kick for her side.
I really like DaCosta, and I like her outside because she's got pace and she's willing to run at players, and here she earns a corner kick.
She had the game-winning goal in the semis, and Mark Krikorian told us yesterday that over time this year in her freshman campaign, she has more and more imposed her will on the opposition as she's gotten comfortable becoming one of the leaders. Yamaguchi with the left towards the near post and into the side netting. Tony, a couple of things to keep our eye on with the Seminoles today.
Well, they have to establish possession, and right now, this far into the game, they have not. They need to get possession. That's when they're playing their best soccer. They've got to utilize their outside backs to become playmakers getting forward. That's Sutton and Schmidt. And they need to get the ball to their key players, but also they need to contain Rodriguez, Brown, and Ohai.
This is a Florida State team accustomed to scoring and getting multiple opportunities. They've had at least 3 goals in all of their tournament games so far. And this is the highest scoring team in Florida State history. How about for Southern Cal today?
Well, they've got to be aggressive for the full game. And I don't say 90 minutes because this could end up overtime. They weren't against UCLA, but they dodged the bullet. They also need to contain, for sure, Yamaguchi, DaCosta, and Talanin. And they need to find their key players, watch out for the counterattack, keep their shape defensively.
Containment has certainly been their modus operandi all season. Just 1 goal allowed in the NCAA tournament, only 13 goals given up all year long. And the big girl in the back, the 6-footer in goal, Kristen Olsen, has pitched 14 shutouts in her 19 games this season.
Brown continues to hold the ball strong, keep possession, and USC is able to deal with the wind because Brown's keeping the ball on the ground for them.
Sandoval had a couple of assists on the Rodriguez goals in their semifinal win over UCLA. They had not defeated the Bruins in 9 years before their upset in the semis.
And this is important because USC dispossesses Florida State, and guess who gets on the end of it? Rodriguez, and she's always going to look for those opportunistic situations. Last year's semifinal, Notre Dame beat Florida State on a similar giveaway, and so Florida State needs to be conscious of that.
Yeah, if nothing else, Southern Cal is a very opportunistic team offensively, Tony. UCLA had more opportunities than they did yesterday, but the Trojans were able to take advantage of the 2 big ones late as Ashley Sandoval gets up.
Well, we're past 10 minutes in the game, and how many times have we said Yamaguchi or Talanin? Right now, USC is doing a very good job. You can see the injury there. 2 players competing for the ball.
McNulty. Nick sends it over the near touchline.
You can bet that Nick is going to be around any service like that. She's either going to be heading it or challenging for it.
Coach's nickname for is Smash. She's a very physically gifted player in the midfield, and she did admit to us the other day, yeah, I may have smashed a player or two throughout the course of the season. Just a terrific kid, wonderful personality, and one of the leaders for this Southern Cal team that has really set the tone that they're not going to be intimidated by any opponent or any circumstances.
And that's Schmidt coming forward, and she needs to do that, but she needs to connect her passes.
Southern Cal with the counterattack. They're playing a man down right now, by the way, as they attend to Sandoval. They have elected not to substitute for her. If you are substituted for in the first half, you cannot re-enter until the second half. In the second half of play, there is a 1 re-entry rule. So just 9 field players right now for SC. Let's see if the Seminoles can take advantage into the area. Talon trying to get on the end of it, and Olsen beat her to it right at the 6-yard line.
Another example of solid hands by Olsen. Here it comes. Talon trying to get on, but Olsen is solid again.
Sana Talonen with 8 goals already in this NCAA tournament. The record is 10, scored by Christine Sinclair of Portland back in 2002. Talonen's one of just 4 players in the 26-year history of this tournament that has 8 goals in the postseason.
This is better by Florida State. They're getting possession, and now you can see Sutton coming forward. She can play 1 versus 1.
Sutton trying to work on Howe. Rodriguez over to help out. Peltzer to Van de Ven. VDV's got it again, looking for some space. Finds it, fires wide right. The senior from the Netherlands.
Here's Van de Ven with the ball at the top of the 18. She's kind of strung out. She tries to get it on goal, but actually it's pretty good defense. And USC is tough to beat in that part of the field because they really consolidate.
And see how the wind held up the goal kick there from Olsen. USC with possession. And they'll lose it over the far touch.
Now you're going to see Florida State do that. They'll let you have the ball wide, but then they're going to lock it against the touchline. They're not going to let you change the point.
Ashley Sandoval continues to get some attention over on the bench as SC continues to play a man down here for the last couple of minutes now. Let's check in with Quint, who's got a report for us.
Beth, Ashley Sandoval, they're working on her right ankle, applying some tape. She should be back momentarily.
A chance possibly for Florida State. Nope, can't hang on.
Sandoval's from San Diego. I was speaking to her yesterday. Her parents actually had to evacuate their home during the fires earlier this fall. And in fact, the USC team missed a week of practice. They went indoors because of the air quality in LA. So that story was a big part of their season.
And Sandoval played a pivotal role in their semifinal win against UCLA with a couple of distributions, and Yamaguchi launches from way outside.
Yamaguchi saw that Olsen was slightly out of position, and that's what good strikers do. She was slightly forward, and Olsen made a good dive, but if that was on goal, it could have been a bit of a problem for her.
Homer tried to flick it on, and dangerous play called on Van de Ven. Got that boot up too high.
Now, I don't agree with keeping this player out. She's got to get in the game, or you got to go with your depth. Now, Sandoval is an important player, but you can't keep playing. It's now getting on 6 or 7 minutes short-handed. You've got to trust your bench in this situation.
Sandoval still on the sideline. Southern Cal with the free kick. Into the area. Gianeskis gets under it. Nick tried to one-time it. Out of play. Ashley Nick.
You never want to shoot and have it end up as a throw-in.
That's not a good thing. Nick's done terrific stuff for them all year long. She is the niece of Bruce and Clay Matthews, the former NFL greats. Comes from a very athletic family. Giveaway from DaCosta that time.
Good defense by Strong. She read that pass by DaCosta and closed it down quickly.
Strong, a junior from Santa Rosa, California. She's been the 4th different player they've had to start at right back this year due to injuries, all coming at the same position earlier this year. Peltzer. Throw in for Florida State. Erica Sutton will take it. Quick.
Ashley Sandoval back on. That was a lengthy stay on the bench where Hillary Magnus just taping up her right ankle. So they survived playing a man down for what amounted to a pretty long period of time, Beth.
Back to full strength now as Sandoval trots back on. She's on the edge of the penalty area. Yamaguchi had a chance at it. Played back to Van de Ven, and that's launched over the top.
Well, here's the other piece of that. They survived. They didn't give up a goal. But guess what? Florida State has come into the game now. They're finding their rhythm. They're getting a lot of possession because they were playing one player up. There's one weakness that I see on the Florida State team in attack, and that is their flank midfielders. I don't think they get enough play, enough penetration, enough mobility out of their flank midfielders. That's Stelzer on one side and Casbor on the other side.
DaCosta to Yamaguchi. Dispossessed. Scrapping for the loose ball. Sandoval wins it. And then Nick lost it.
Yeah, that's a bad giveaway by Nick.
DaCosta has Talonen out to the right. Peltzer now making the overlap run. The cross. All white jerseys around that one. Ohai. Able to turn at midfield. Well done by the freshman from Draper, Utah. Now, Sandoval. Strong, looking for Brown. Tried to tap it back to Tomer. Approaching the midway point of the first half of our national championship match here at the College Cup. Southern Cal in white, Florida State in the garnet and gold, both looking for their first women's soccer national championship.
The last 2 times Peltzer has touched the ball, she's given it away. And their flank midfielders in this 4-4-2 system have to be more dynamic. They'd be better off if they send them central and let Sutton and Schmidt have the entire outside.
Edwards out of the back. Now to Gianeskis. They'll try the left side. Schmidt. Good pressure on the ball by Tomer. Nowhere to go down that side for Florida State. Back over to the right. Sutton has some space. Rodriguez called for the foul.
You can see the difference between how Sutton plays, even though she's the outside back, compared to Peltzer. Sutton is going to go at players. She's going to, in this case, earn a foul, but she's going to try to force the defense to have to adjust to her.
Becky Edwards, a sophomore from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, will take this free kick. Olsen coming out for it. Ball's down in the box. Ricochets off the keeper and headed down, and the whistle will go against Talonen for getting the foot up high on Carter Howd. And then checks to make sure the opponent is okay.
Well, here's the service in. Olsen comes for it. It's a clean challenge. The ball is loose. Ricochet, bounce, foul. You know, these are always dangerous when it's bouncing around in your own penalty area. I'm sure Coach Karosh Shaheen, you know, aged a couple of years on that one.
There's a break in the action. Amy Rodriguez with a couple of goals in the semis. More on A-Rod when we come back to the College Cup. Scoreless back at the Women's College Cup, Southern Cal and Florida State. Let's head down to the field and Quint Kesnick.
Beth, Amy Rodriguez and baseball's Alex Rodriguez, they share the same nickname, A-Rod, but that's where the similarities differ. A-Rod in baseball is a guy who earns $27 million a year. Amy only earns a scholarship and per diem. Talk about playoff production. A-Rod struggling in the postseason, only 1 home run. Amy, she delivers 3 goals. He's most known for getting himself in the New York tabloids. She's known for her green headband. She wants to be a marketing rep, and he is an icon. But really the big difference, I think, is the postseason. He's a bust. Certainly wouldn't call him Mr. October. She is becoming Miss December. Beth?
Well, Quint is obviously a Red Sox fan.
Amy Rodriguez, she's had a chance today. Made good on a couple of chances in their semifinal upset of UCLA and is their leading scorer this year. The junior from Lake Forest, California. Former high school national player of the year.
Okay, here's the adjustments I make if I'm USC. I get Amy Rodriguez off the flank in midfield, and I get her up top. And I also, I think I mentioned that to you, I bring in Schweitzer for Florida State, and I take out Peltzer.
Well, Peltzer has departed. Rachel Lim, the freshman from Boca Raton, is the one that comes up. She goes in on the left side, and they move Casbor over to the right side.
And I think you'll see Schweitzer shortly.
Chipped into the penalty area. Yamaguchi tries to settle. The touch back to Van de Ven. All the way out to Brown. Rodriguez. Gianesca steps up. The header from Sandoval. Megan Ohai looks to cross, knocked down by Gianescus. And the deep throw-in coming up for Florida State.
Ohai silently had a very effective game against UCLA.
Lifted into the area. Off the post and headed in for the goal. The miscue in the back by the Seminoles. And the strike for USC.
Tomer gets on the end. Tomer gets on the end of this. It's a miss clear. It comes off the crossbar, and Tomer puts it away.
Hit off of Casbor's head first onto the crossbar. McNulty could not grab a hold of it, and Tomer knocks it into the back of the net.
Let's see, Beth, how Florida State responds to this.
Edwards and Olsen gets a hold of it.
I like this distribution.
Tomer's got a ton of room down the left side.
And she's a good 1v1 player.
Sandoval in space, now going to run onto it. Southern Cal threatening again. Brown leaves it for Tomer. Saved by McNulty. Off the post again. And the goal kick for Florida State. Wow, huge threat again by SC.
Well, Rodriguez almost got on the end of that came off the crossbar and put it away. She's always going to be around the ball in those situations. But right now, Florida State is just dodged a big bullet.
Mary Ellen Tomer in the 25th minute, giving them the 1-0 lead, her 5th goal of the season. And that gives USC the lead. And something for that defense to really lock down on now. Johnson to Sandoval, now strong. All the momentum with the white jerseys. Brown tried to touch it back to Rodriguez. Talonen and Yamaguchi have been held in check so far in this first half. Tomer in the 25th minute with the strike. This Florida State team, a group that's been scoring 3 goals per game in the NCAA tournament. 3 a game all year long.
And Beth Schweitzer is in the game.
Yamaguchi. Schweitzer's out on the right. There she is with the touch. Sutton. Van de Ven. Now Schweitzer. Sutton's going to overlap. Erica Sutton puts it into the area, and Courier is there.
And that isn't a bad ball. You need a near post run. The near post run is going to eliminate some of Olsen's range because she has to honor it. She's already dominant in the penalty area. Eliminate some of that range with good near post run. That's not a bad ball by Sutton.
Free kick by number 19, Becky Edwards.
Under 17 minutes to go now in the first half of play at the national championship. Edwards will wait till some of her teammates get into the penalty area. Brown's got it. Edwards. DaCosta. Slides it through. DaCosta to Rachel Lim, and Olsen comes and snags it away.
That's a great save by Olsen, but let me tell you, Schweitzer's already had a big impact in the game. She gets it to DaCosta. DaCosta slips it into Lynn. Lynn looks like she's going to get a shot off, but Olsen is there to make the play. Very quick off her line.
Yamaguchi will get it back from Schweitzer. Yamaguchi and Talonen have hooked up so many times this year. Schweitzer. Mammy. Yamaguchi tries to play it in front. Nobody on the end of it. Schweitzer missed it wide left.
This is better flank play from Florida State, and they're starting to get some openings.
Let's check in now with Quint.
Beth Mary Helen Tomer from Los Angeles. Her father, Kelly, is afraid of flying. So put the family in the family truckster. 22 hours later, 1,400 miles later, they are here. Well, along the way, guess what happened? They hit a deer in Texas. So it has been an eventful weekend for the Tomer family.
Sounds like a worthwhile trip, though. Their daughter just scored the first goal in the national championship.
That is the difference right now for Southern Cal and Florida State, both seeking their first soccer national championship. Nick back to Sandoval. Good takeaway by Sutton. Goes 1v1 on Haug and gets by her. Well, the pass went to the left when Talonen had room on the right.
That was very promising. She just made the wrong choice and pass.
Gianeskis backtracks to get it. Talonen onside. Courier takes it away. Terrific defense by Janessa.
Courier and Johnson are very solid in the center of Southern Cal's defense.
Handball called on Courier. For a kick coming up for Florida State. There's Rebecca and Kelly Tomer and their family. Miles traveled, plenty of shots of espresso, casualties on the road, the one deer.
And venison for dinner.
And see their daughter score in the national championship game, priceless for them. And that tally coming in the 25th minute. And the push called on Florida State.
That was a push on Sutton.
Coverage of college football on ESPN2 continues on Saturday at noon Eastern. Valdosta State taking on Northwest Missouri State in the final of the Division II championship. Then at 4 Eastern on ESPN, it's the NCAA Division III final, Mount Union and Wisconsin Whitewater in the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl. The NCAA Division II and III football championships presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Saturday beginning at noon. All kinds of activity going on. NCAA Championship Month here on the ESPN family of networks, with the women's soccer here, the men's soccer next weekend, the football games next weekend. We've got NCAA volleyball national semifinals starting on Thursday. And the Southern Cal women's volleyball team is also amongst the final 4 teams left standing. And they'll be playing on Thursday night, taking on Stanford. Cal and Penn State in the other matchup. We'll have more on the Men's College Cup coming up for you at halftime as well. Whistle's going to go against Casey Johnson on the takedown of Yamaguchi. Been a good time to be on the SC campus this fall. Football's going to the Rose Bowl. The women's volleyball will be playing in the semifinals of the NCAA tournament on Thursday, and the men's water polo team made it all the way to the championship match before falling to Cal. Edwards. Olsen punches it out. Will help Johnson get up as well after that big-time collision, and Casey appears to be all right.
Well, Olsen comes for the ball. She's going to clean out some bodies. She's 6 feet tall. She's athletic, and this is good goalkeeping, because that's a tough ball for defenders to clear. So even though Johnson took the worst of it, she's appreciative of her goalkeeper coming for that ball.
Quick check.
Come on, Carter, take space.
Tomer able to get the corner kick. She's come up with some big plays for them in this first half.
Well, this is a good matchup, Tomer against Sutton. I really like that matchup.
Tomer will now depart as a couple of substitutes come on. Alyssa Davila is in, as well as Kelly Finch. So on a very hot and humid day here in College Station, both coaches utilizing some fresh legs off the bench.
Watch Johnson here, number 13. She's a target. She scored 2 goals in the tournament already.
Courier tried to redirect, gobbled up by McNulty. The freshman in goal from Canada. Players from around the globe on this Florida State roster. Most of the women of Troy are Californians, a lot of them Southern Californians. Under 9.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Edwards. DaCosta trying to turn. Taken down, and the whistle will go against Southern Cal.
Early in the game, Beth, I said Van de Ven needs the ball for Florida State, and she's just not getting it. Here's a perfect example for her to get it, change the point, find somebody in. She just needs to move this, with her possession, move the Southern Cal defense back and forth, especially on this hot day.
Schweitzer Yamaguchi, maybe trying to turn. Johnson's right on her. Casey Johnson, not going to have any of that from Yamaguchi. DaCosta coming back for it. Florida State looking for the equalizer before the intermission. It has been a stifling defensive effort with Olsen in goal, and that back line for Southern Cal not allowing a shot yet today from Talonen or Yamaguchi. DaCosta. Now the chip into the area. Yamaguchi trying to get under it. Courier got there. The size really helping out Southern Cal in the penalty area with Courier and Johnson, the anchors in the middle. And Olsen coming up with the diving grab.
And not an easy ball to collect because it's a cross ready to be flicked on by Yamaguchi. Schmidt makes the cross. Yamaguchi is challenging for it. Olsen comes and wins it, doesn't give up the rebound.
Davila. Lynch now. Under 7.5 to go in the first half. Mary Ellen Tomer, the goal in the 25th minute off the miscue in the back for Florida State. Heading it by the keeper, McNulty. We got a whistle and a yellow card coming out on Brown for the hard tackle of Sutton.
I'm not sure that's a yellow card. I think the referee just wanted to be seen on TV because that's just a good challenge, and this game has been played very fairly.
The NCAA Fall Championships continue on the ESPN family of networks beginning next Thursday, December 13th, with NCAA Division I women's volleyball semifinal coverage at ESPN2 at 9 o'clock Eastern. That will be USC and Stanford. For more information on the NCAA Fall Championships, visit ncaasports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. You can also do a little homework on Penn State and the Cal Bears. California with a stunning upset of Nebraska in the region final yesterday to advance to their first ever national semifinal appearance. So there will be a new champ crowned in volleyball as well as soccer here, a first-time winner.
Parity. It's a good thing.
Well, the tournament this year, Tony, was just crazy. 3 of the #1 seeds were bounced out in the Sweet 16 this year. Only 1 top seed advanced to the College Cup. And here we've got Florida State finished in the regular season ranked 14th against Southern Cal ranked 9th at the end of the year.
Well, you want to peak for certain things during the season, your conference championship, but you definitely want to peak for the NCAA tournament. Both coaches have done a great job of getting their teams here.
Neither one grabbed their conference championship in the regular season, but now have a chance to take home the national championship trophy. Sana Talonen looking for Yamaguchi, and they can't make the connection. Let's take a look at the Coke Zero game track. Southern Cal on top 1-0. Both teams not only looking for their first title, but playing in the final for the first time in school history. And that's a bit of a surprise, the statistics showing Southern Cal with more shots. Mary Helen Tomer, her 6th goal of the season coming in the 25th minute. A header. Under 5 to go here in the first half. And it went back to Sutton. Courier stepping into the passing lane. Schmidt. Service from Gianeskis, but nobody there. Goes all the way through to Olsen.
Florida State is running out of ideas because of the discipline and the shape of the USC defense. They've got to try to play quicker, Beth, before that defense gets set. Sometimes they're just hitting these back passes to create possession. They need to get the ball forward quicker.
Southern Cal now trying to push forward. Ohai's cross knocked down by Gianeskis for the throw-in.
Respected good sportsmanship. The NCAA respects college
Rodriguez with room to turn. Far post, Davila on a horse to get there. Now try to get it back to Davila. Working around Schweitzer. And Van de Ven picks it off.
Here's the time to get the ball forward quickly.
And Strong goes right through Yamaguchi to get it. The flick into the area. Schmidt will try and clear it out of there.
Foul called on USC.
Foul on Southern Cal. DaCosta going back to work.
USC is going to let him play into the width as much as they want.
Ricochet goes right back to Edwards. They'll switch fields now. Schmidt.
Now's a good
Get
time.
something building here, Tony.
Sorry, Beth, this is a good time to find Van de Ven again. Now she needs to look forward.
This is VDV. She's got it looking forward for Schweitzer. The pass goes to the Trojans instead.
She needs to find the garnet.
Looking for that garnet and gold jersey. The slow build now from USC. And whoops, as soon as I say that, the launch forward. McNulty. After that was dangerously close to a handball in the area on the high hop.
You could hear
Near
a few
Edwards.
oohs and ahs in the audience. I'm sure they were all USC fans.
Talon going to try and run onto it. Courier and Johnson have won just every battle back there. Able to utilize their sizes. She whistled for the foul.
He's awarded the throw into Florida State, but you're right, Beth. Courier and Johnson have been very solid, very solid.
DaCosta. Now Lim with the cross. Schmidt looking to one-time it, knocked down by the Southern Cal D.
They have one more opportunity to launch it into the penalty area.
Edwards with the left foot. They'll try and hustle over for the throw-in now with under 20 seconds to go in the half.
And as you saw, USC's players just let it roll all the way back. That isn't unsportsmanlike. That's smart game management.
8, 7,
DaCosta trying to beat the clock.
3.
Yamaguchi gets it away in time over the top.
That's the end of the first half. Our score, USC 1, Florida State 0.
Mary Helen Tomer scoring in the 25th minute here in the first half to give Southern Cal the 1-0 lead over Florida State in this 2007 Women's College Cup Championship match. Let's send it down to the field now with Quint Kusnick.
Coach, Mary Helen Tomer's goal, what happened?
It was a schmozzle, and we ended up with the ball in the back of the net. It was ugly, but we'll take it. We're not playing very well right now. They're dictating the rhythm of the game, and we need to change some things right now.
What will those changes be? What's a key change?
Well, I think right now we got to start pressing them a little higher. We're giving them way too much space to play in the back, and they're just knocking it like we're a bunch of cones.
Thanks, Allie. Beth.
Thank you, Quint. Southern Cal would love a schlemiel to go along with that schlemazel. They've got the 1-0 lead right now. It wasn't pretty, but they'll take it into the locker room. Florida State left to figure out how they're going to get one by Kristen Olsen and this stingy Southern Cal defense. On a steamy day in College Station, Florida State and USC trying to take home their program's first ever national championship. Back to Texas A&M. And the 2007 Women's College Cup, our national championship game. Mary Helen Chomer scoring in the 25th minute to give Southern Cal the lead. Let's check in with Quinn Kesnick.
Coach, what was the most important thing you told your team at halftime?
Well, I think we have to have more energy. It seems like we're just content to be here, and that's not good enough for us. And the second half will come out with a little more energy and play with a little more speed in the attack.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Quint. They've also made some subtle adjustments with their lineup. Stalzer gets the start in the second half along with Lim. And initially, Tony, they've sent DaCosta from the middle of the central midfield out to the right side.
And I think that's a good move because she'll run at players. And it looks to me like Yamaguchi is dropped into the attacking midfield. Stalzer's now a front runner with Talonen.
Southern Cal with the lead. They've been very good with it all year long. The long blast from Sandoval won't go, and now it is USC that has that 15-mile-an-hour wind at its back. McNulty will take the goal kick.
That was
right back to it.
That was Nick just skying over everyone to get her head on that ball.
The changes for Southern Cal, Davila will start, as will Kelly Lynch. They came on as substitutions late in that first half, and they'll stay out there on the lineup in the midfield for USC. DaCosta. Well, that was one of the things, Tony, you were not impressed with their play on that right flank, and now immediately a chance, and Olsen got a glove on it. That started with DaCosta out on the right flank and then came back to the middle.
Well, DaCosta will run at players, but this is better from Lynn, too. She got off her left flank, a good little 1-2 pass. Look at it. But you know what? Olsen, once again, gets a touch to it, puts it over the crossbar.
Yamaguchi. Van de Ven, always a good target, number 14. She's in the middle of that pack. Goes all the way through Schmidt. And a corner coming up in the opposite side. Yamaguchi will trot over to take it again.
Good start here for Florida State University.
That's the energy that Mark Krikorian was talking about just a minute ago with Quint coming out of that locker room.
You can see how many people they put inside the 6. I count 4 Florida State players inside the 6. The serve is probably going to go right in there. Somebody's going to look for the knockdown.
Yamaguchi gets some air under it. And they will take the goal away. The whistle coming against Florida State. Too many of those bodies bumping into Olsen.
Well, they called it on Stalzer, but you can see the intent of Florida State. They don't want Olsen to be able to get a run to the ball. They're going to put it right in her. They're going to challenge her with bodies in the 6.
Florida State in the garnet, USC in white. Just underway in the second half. Haug. That pass behind Sandoval, taken away by Sutton. Gianeskis gave it right back. Rodriguez tries to tap it through a couple of defenders. Play on, says the official, as Florida State had the advantage there with possession. Back to Edwards. They're going to go back over to that right side now that has Sutton and DaCosta over there.
See, that pass right there, I think they've got to get away with. They got to find Van de Ven instead of playing it all the way back into the defense. That just sets every defender back into a defensive posture for USC.
And again, it goes backwards. Van de Ven not finding any space there. Calling for the ball at her feet. They can't get it to her. Nick with the takeaway. Yamaguchi, who has drifted back down now and playing more as an attacking midfielder than a forward, with Stalzer up top with Talonen. DaCosta with a burst of speed. Courier shielding the attacker away from it.
Well, even though that didn't connect, you can see what DaCosta is going to give them as an outside midfielder, something they haven't had with any other flank midfielder combination.
Olsen will boot it away. Working on an impressive NCAA tournament, which has seen just 1 goal scored on Southern Cal in their 5.5 matches.
USC.
They have held this high-scoring Florida State team in check. Lim trying to get by Strong.
And Coach Shaheen did the same thing yesterday. Now Amy Rodriguez is the center forward, sitting high, and they're going to look for counterattack opportunities. She played the first half as a flank midfielder. She plays the second half as a center forward.
DaCosta. And the whistle, a free kick coming up for Florida State just outside the edge of the penalty area. Huge advantage on the season, Tony, for Florida State in terms of the goals, but then the other way, the goals allowed favoring SC.
13 goals allowed in the entire season is very impressive.
There's 13 goals in 24 matches. Dangerous opportunity for FSU. Headed out by Strong. Yamaguchi to Lim. Back to Gianeskis. Schmidt going 1v1 with Davila, looking for the give and go. Rodriguez, Sandoval calling for it. It's a foot race. Sandoval's going to get there. Beating Gianeskis to the ball, and it's a corner kick for Southern Cal.
Well, we saw that Sandoval has some speed, but really that's McNulty's ball. Now she's playing against the wind. That ball is going to fly into the penalty area. She should be on the end of this, but Sandoval gave 2 or 3 yards, and Gianeskis caught up to it and earned the corner kick.
Howe will come up to take it. Carter will use the right foot.
Beth, again, look at the top of the 18. There's no Florida State players here. Anything that's half cleared, USC is going to get a shot off of it.
She switches over to use the left, goes near post. Yamaguchi and Davila with a 50-50 ball. And the goal kick coming up for McNulty. Check in with Quinn.
Right behind the goal. Beth, I'm actually right behind the goal, and Tony, you mentioned the lack of communication there with McNulty on that last ball. This is unique in that the fans are so close to the playing field here, behind the goals, which is different for these keepers. It's much more noisy. It can be a distraction, and it definitely impacts communication from keeper to defender.
Well, maybe being a freshman, although who says there's no freshman at this point in the season, but, you know, McNulty, I think, will just get used to the fact that with playing against the wind, those balls are going to run towards her.
Another great crowd here of over 7,000 people for the championship match. Most college facilities, you wouldn't see those seats behind the goals. It's going to bounce all the way across the near touchline. Throwing for USC. You see the crowd behind the goal here at Aggie Soccer Stadium.
They've been treated to a third very good women's soccer game.
Nine minutes into this second half, a 1-0 Southern Cal lead. Tomer looking for Rodriguez. Amy trying to turn. Going up against a couple of defenders, and another corner kick.
You've got to like her. She got the ball in the penalty area, surrounded, she held it, she kept it, she beat a player, gets a serve block for a corner kick. Well done. And Tomer did well to beat her player and get in. I'm impressed with the USC speed.
Their second goal yesterday was off of a set piece, off of a corner kick, when Rodriguez took the deflection from Casey Johnson. This one won't get through. Throw in coming for the Seminoles. The last time, by the way, that FSU and Southern Cal faced for a national championship, that was on the baseball field back in 1970. Southern Cal beat the Noles in 15 innings in that one.
We could see overtime here, and 2-1 is the score that could be very real for this game as well.
The whistle goes against Florida State, so a free kick for USC. Sandoval's going to line it up.
And she's going to drive this. She doesn't really bend it. She drives her free kicks. Probably something she needs to learn to bend it, because that's going to take it over the wall and dip it under the crossbar.
She will go over and take the corner kick.
Well, the last corner kick, Beth, she played to the near post. She needs to play this to the back post, because look at where Larson is. Finch is. She can end up with a shot here on a ball that's only half cleared.
Far post. Off the bounce. Lynch giving chase, and Gianeskis is there. Tomer tried to keep it in play.
Lock it in! Come on, Amy! Come on, Amy! Lock it in!
You can hear
You got her! You got her, Amy! You got her!
Shaheen
Well done! Again! Again! Well done! Well done!
looking for the relentless effort from Rodriguez. Quint touched on this in that first half, their blueprint for success. More discipline this year, harder work ethic this year, a positive attitude. And it came down to a lot of running, Tony. He added some incentive for the players. You're going to run till you get it right.
Well, not only running, he gave the players a vision. He created a collective dream for his team, and then he set a structure so that they could build towards it. And here they are, leading in the second half of the national championship.
There is definitely more parity in the women's game. 4 different champions in the last 6 years. We will crown another first-time champion here today. There have only been 6 winners in the 26-year history of this tournament, which had been dominated forever by North Carolina. Nancy Dorrance's club winning 18 national titles, their latest a year ago.
I think at one point they won 12 in a row or something, so kind of closes the door on every other program.
This is a tournament that began back in 1982 with less than 30 programs in the country playing Division I soccer. This year, over 300 playing women's collegiate soccer under the NCAA.
I need somebody there.
This USC system, they don't score a lot of goals because their outside backs don't do a lot of attacking, but they defend very well, and they just look to pick up the goals where they can. Here's Haug, the outside back, coming forward.
Tomer turns it to the middle. Tony, after that initial 5-minute burst of energy by the Seminoles, they've had a hard time getting any possession since then. It's been all down on the SC end of the field.
USC looks quicker to the ball, and that was something that Coach Krikorian said we need to be more aggressive, quicker in the second half.
Yamaguchi trying to run on. Can she and Talonen team up again, as they have done throughout this postseason? Here it is, and Talonen misfired on the header. Huge chance on the far post.
She'd want that one back, Beth. Here it is. Yamaguchi, finding class, and she just doesn't get a head ball that she wants. She probably needs to drive that back towards the post that it came from.
During the regular season, Talonen 8 goals, a couple of them assisted by Yamaguchi. And then they caught fire and started working so well together in the NCAA tournament. 8 goals for Talonen, 5 of them assisted by Yamaguchi. Good takeaway by Schmidt. Florida State looking to build again. Lim dispossessed. Now giving chase and forces the turnover of DaCosta.
That's a ball that can lead to a counterattack.
Stalzer looking for some help. Then the back heel gives it away.
Florida State is just too slow and getting into their attack, and USC is very disciplined to get numbers back. So once those numbers get back, it's not easy to beat this defense, especially a defense anchored by Olsen.
Here comes Sutton making the overlapping run. DaCosta now back in the middle. Schmidt pushing forward. Schmidt trying to work on Davila. Corner kick for the Seminoles. Yamaguchi will take it.
Again, 4 Seminoles in the 6th.
This one away from Olsen, and Rodriguez were able to blast it out. Gianeskis is fouled by Sandoval.
That's a good ball because now they can attack before that defense is set. Tomer got over, made a good sliding tackle.
DaCosta. Out. Wins another one. The freshman from Castle Rock, Colorado, making some nice plays over there. Denying DaCosta the run. The women of Troy with 4 shutouts in their first 5 matches of this tournament, and now working on another one here in the final with the 1-0 lead on the Mary Helen Tomer goal in the 25th minute.
Look at how narrow their attack is now. They need to get more width.
Everything in the middle of the field. Sutton into space. Stalzer trying to run on. Casey Johnson is going to let that one roll over. Coverage of college football on ESPN2 continues Saturday at noon Eastern. It's Valdosta State and Northwest Missouri State in the NCAA Division II Championship. Then at 4 Eastern on ESPN, the Division III final, the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl featuring Mount Union and Wisconsin Whitewater. The NCAA Division II and Division III football championship presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Saturday, beginning at noon. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. The football bowl subdivision final is also set with App State and Delaware coming up this weekend.
Watch Rodriguez spin off and get out into the penalty area, look for a flick.
Schmidt. Finds Yamaguchi. Mama Yamaguchi, one of the top scorers in the nation this year. Could not lift it outside to DaCosta. And now Rodriguez on the counter. McNulty coming out after it, and we'll have to boot it away.
Well, Yamaguchi had a good attack there, but there's just not enough happening for Florida State. So she had to try a difficult ball to lift it over the central defense, drop it in so DaCosta could run onto it.
McNulty with the goal kick now into the wind.
Substitution for the state. Exiting our match, number 4, Andy Stalzer.
Stalzer will go out.
For the Seminoles, number 16, Holly Peltzer.
Holly Peltzer will come back into the match.
Looks like she's coming in as a forward.
Lauren Brown is also back into the game for USC. Davila making a back post run at it.
Now, if you're a coach, you'd like to see McNulty come out and claim that. It's flighted over a long distance. She's a little bit tight to her goal line. Her starting position could have been a little bit better, and she could have got on the end of that.
She will come off her line for this one.
USC appealing for a back pass.
Yamaguchi at midfield, trying to flick it forward to Talonen. Ashley Nick continues to control the center of the field for USC. Rodriguez going to work with the left, just missed it.
Well, each team now has missed an opportunity by their best tournament scorer. Look at her turn on this. She gets it on her favored left foot. She spins, she fires just over the bar.
Talon had a chance earlier this half for Florida State and couldn't convert in the air. Approaching the midway mark of this second half, and Tony, it almost looks like fatigue is becoming a factor now for the Seminoles.
Well, for sure, USC is the more aggressive team. The Seminoles just need something to give them a spark. I would take maybe DaCosta and put her up front, try to get her speed. Maybe they can break down the team with a little bit more direct play.
Let's head down to the bench area with Quint.
Beth, Allie very happy with the way USC's winning the little battles. You mentioned it earlier. This is a USC team. They played 10 doubleheader weekends this season. They play on Fridays and Sundays. They're used to the quick turnaround. Meanwhile, Florida State only played in 3 of those. So the women in white right now seem to have a little more energy.
And those 3 for FSU were all early in the season. And we talked about the new and improved fitness level for Southern Cal this year. One thing we do know, though, about the Seminoles all year long, they have been very good later in matches. We'll have to see if that takes place or not. Casey Johnson. Nick right at McNulty.
Gotta love that when your center back gets the ball in the final third, beats a player, lays the ball off for a shot.
That's your defender and one of your holding midfielders up there on the attack, and they quickly head back to the other end of the field to defend now.
Well, you know the adage, defense wins championships. They do a very good job of getting numbers behind the ball. You cannot do slow build-up against them. You've got to get the ball forward quickly, or you've got to keep changing the point until you can break down their cohesiveness.
Edwards fouled by Strong. Quick restart by Florida State. Van de Ven on a work around Sandoval.
Now she needs to get it right back now. But it's looking like it's going to go down the flank. It's too late.
And she's calling for it out there, Tony, pointing down at her feet saying, hey, I got space here, I'm open.
Look at the numbers there around the ball. She needed to give it to Sutton, get it back from Sutton, and then attack this side and, with speed before they can get cohesive.
Bunched up on the right flank, and they lose it again. Brown. 1-on-3 right now, but she'll take it to the center of the field.
If Florida State has that media time out coming, they may readjust their alignment, get a third forward, go to like a 4-3-3 or even a 3-back, and try to create more attacking personalities.
Ashley Nick. Out to Carter Howe. Sandoval lost it. Now Holly Peltzer got Johnson to beat. Able to get the throw in. Schmidt. Nice move to get by a defender. Schmidt, another one. The shot hit Talonen. And the foul will be called on Florida State.
You got to like that, though. Katrine Schmidt, who's the left back, just committed a foul on the right flank because she's trying to make something happen.
The teams will continue to wait for the media timeout until there is not an advantage situation. And then Rodriguez calls down Edwards.
Foul on USC.
Here's the play. It's kind of a fall over, takedown of some sort. There's probably a name for it.
Ashley Nick. Southern Cal with the 1-0 lead in their first ever trip to the finals. They'd never been past the second round before. With a first-year head coach, a new attitude, a new fitness regimen. The big upset over crosstown rival UCLA in the semis on Friday, and here they are now on the cusp of winning it all. Sandoval into space. She's got Rodriguez in the middle.
A little bit impatient there, Beth. There's a good change of point. Now you can see there's a little bit of space now.
There is the timeout. Florida State has worked plenty of late game magic this year, and in the NCAA tournament, can they do it again? More on that when we come back. 1-0, Southern Cal leading Florida State. The Seminoles looking for the equalizer. It's come on more than one occasion already in the tournament. Quint?
Yeah, Beth, I don't care what the sport is, whether it's football, soccer, basketball, lacrosse, the ability to finish, that's what wins NCAA titles. And now Florida State has an excellent track record this season of performing well in games after the 65-minute mark. During the regular season, they outscored their opponents by a 2-1 margin. In the NCAA play, it's been off the charts, 8-0. And I asked Mark Krikorian about it. He said typically because of their possession game, they've been able to dictate tempo and wear their opponents down. My question to you, Tony, have we seen that style today? Have they taken something out of the legs of this USC defense?
Not really. It might almost be the other way around, Quint. I think Florida State has had possession in the back third, but they have not had enough possession in the attacking third. They've gotten very narrow too early in their attack. So they need to probably get more players forward here, maybe a system change if things don't go differently very quickly.
Let's see now as they start to spread out if there has been any adjustment made by Mark Krikorian. One move I see right away is that Amanda DaCosta is not out on the field. So Schweitzer comes on for DaCosta.
I think you'll see DaCosta come back in, maybe up front for Peltzer.
Yamaguchi, Van de Ven. Now got there first. That back line continues to work hard for USC.
That was a very good ball by Sandoval, cut out by Schweitzer.
Once again, when a player is substituted for in the second half, they can re-enter once. We approach now 16 minutes to go in the match. First time ever that Florida State has been here. First time ever for USC. One of them inching closer to taking home the program's first soccer title. And become just the 7th team in history in the 26 years of this tournament to win it all.
Saving tackle there by Edwards as Brown was streaking in.
Ali yelling out to his team to put this one away with an insurance goal. Johnson gets the corner kick.
USC, Beth, has just had more poise with the ball. Even there, Johnson holding it in the corner rather than just playing it away to somebody who was being closed down. And now they've earned another corner kick.
They've looked like the better team so far, and they've got the 1-0 lead to show it. In the air, Courier save, and then put back in for the goal. Olsen collided there with McNulty with a defender, and the ball came loose. And Courier knocked it home for her 5th goal of the season.
Well, that's devastating for Florida State. They come off the break and they give up a goal. Look at this challenge in the air. Courier gets the challenge. She gets the second opportunity and she makes sure she puts it away.
Southern Cal scores without Amy Rodriguez on the field, who's out right now catching her breath. The defender, Courier, she's been stopping him on one end and now knocks one home on the other. And Southern Cal with the 2-0 lead. '76th minute on the goal for Courier. That's the first strike that Florida State has allowed after the 65-minute mark in this NCAA tournament.
Well, USC has been the better possession team. They've been more poised on the ball. I'm very impressed with their tackling. They don't lose a lot of tackles.
Southern Cal under first-year head coach Ali Khosrow Shaheen. They've never been past the second round before. On their first day of fitness training back in January, he was asking himself the question, what have I gotten myself into? Looking for a 3rd goal across the goal mouth. Sandoval giving chase. He quickly instituted a new fitness regimen, a better work ethic, a commitment to excellence. They were tired of being one of the few losing programs in terms of national championships on campus. And this was in the paper the other day in the USA Today. If you told me we'd be in this position the very first year, I'd have said, no way. And the players, one of the nice things they were telling us about the run this year is how much respect they have gained on campus from the other athletes around Southern Cal. But now look at them a little differently. They'll have even more cachet if they can go home with a championship trophy.
There's another case where Ohai in this situation wins the tackle.
Approaching 12 minutes to go. Florida State needs a couple to tie it up. The takeaway by Lynch. Out of play. Here's what Ashley Nick told us the other day when we talked about the soccer team joining up with the other winning programs on campus.
Gained a lot more respect from all the other athletes on campus and just everyone in general, but no one wants to be the one program that doesn't really help the school out. So we just stepped it up, and we've gotten all the support from everyone on campus that we need.
What a moment for Ashley Nick, who's watched both of her uncles enjoy success in the NFL. She's got a couple of cousins playing Div1 college football. They've had the spotlight on them, and this weekend it's on her. And a tremendous moment for Nick as she has controlled the midfield today.
And Florida State has never adjusted to making near post runs. Last two balls played into the penalty area, they just haven't had anybody getting on the end of it.
Bruce, who went into the Hall of Fame last summer. Uncle Bruce looking on. Ashley, the junior from Monrovia, California. Been a starter for a couple of years, wants to be a first grade teacher after she graduates.
She is an exceptional athlete.
Free kick, Yamaguchi with the header, just missed it wide right.
I was a little surprised Olsen didn't come for that. They awarded a corner. I thought Olsen would come for that cross.
Yamaguchi over to take the corner kick. FSU's only been shut out once all year. That was North Carolina in the ACC final. Olsen does come out to grab that one. Davila. Under 10 minutes to go for a national championship. Southern Cal with a first-year head coach in their first finals appearance with the 2-0 lead. It's been a long and winding road for Southern Cal to get here. Unlike the other teams that advanced to the College Cup, they spent most of their NCAA tournament on the road. Close to 10,000 miles they traveled from Los Angeles to Missouri and to West Virginia and back home again. And now the one-way trip here to College Station. They might need another ticket on the flight home for the trophy. Quint.
Beth, back and forth across the country, they have endured all the rigors of travel. A bus leak where they had an oil leak. Canceled flights off of a 4 a.m. wake-up call. As you said, 10,000 miles. They've been focused on controlling the controllables and dealing with that adversity. And before the game, Ali walked up and down the sideline with his little placard saying, you know, so what, deal with it. Looking the girls in the eyes, so what, deal with it, knowing that adversity would eventually hit.
That adversity hit again the other day, Quint. Ali losing a friend of his from the Southern California soccer community who unexpectedly passed away this week. Quite a moment for him and his program. Sandoval tied up with Gianeskis and taken down.
This could be a red card. It's probably not going to be. Oh, I see the red out. Yes, it is.
Gianeskis will be sent off with 7:54 to go.
Now, I don't agree with that call because there was another Florida State player. You'll see her come into the picture. Just wide, but as the last defender, when you make that foul, you know you're running the risk.
So Florida State a man down the rest of the way. Sandoval will take the free kick. Right into the wall. Lynch the one-timer, no.
I know Coach Kokori, he'll be the first one to say that they were outplayed today. USC has been better in possession. They've been fantastic all tournament long, but they've been fantastic against this attacking trio, and they've been more dangerous on attack.
Florida State really pressed for time now. Southern Cal with one extra woman out there, though.
They shouldn't possess the ball, Beth. They should just keep it. Make Florida State chase it down a player.
Here comes FSU, sliding it through. DaCosta onside. DaCosta trying to play it back in front, knocked down by Strong.
Well, that was a great run by Erica Sutton. She should have continued her run after she laid off that ball, but DaCosta's got to play that back on the ground.
Yamaguchi hustling over to set up the corner kick. Redirected in front by Van de Ven over the top.
Another corner. And Olsen is human. She misjudged that corner, went over the top of her.
She's been brilliant in goal here at the College Cup. 8 saves against UCLA in the finals. Some more big ones, or in the semis. Some more big ones today in the final. Yamaguchi again. Olsen punches it clear. 6 minutes to go. Remy, far post. Olsen got a piece of it again.
Neither of those balls were easy to deal with. Near post bending ball on the corner kick. And here's the second one. She gets a little box to it, puts it out. She had 3 Florida State players crashing in on it.
Yamaguchi again. Headed out by Sandoval. Throw in for Florida State. Pelcher back to Edwards. 5 minutes to go. 2-0 Southern Cal. A Tomer goal in the first half, a Courier goal in the second. A spectacular defensive effort to keep Yamaguchi and Talonen and DaCosta quiet so far today.
You've got to start serving longer balls into the penalty area.
Schmidt. 1v1 on Strong. Skids off of Brown's head.
Corner kick. Surprised Brown even headed that. Let it go, it would have been a goal kick.
8,300 fans on hand with us here at Aggie Soccer Stadium for the national championship match. Edwards tried to get it on face. Van de Ven taken down. Under 4 minutes to play. Southern California in their first ever appearance in the championship final. Looking to close out Florida State.
This be a good, low, hard in-swinger.
Back post, no, denied by Courier, who was hugging the pipe. Florida State pouring it on. playing a man down after the red card to Gianeskis. Schmidt back to DaCosta. Amanda taken away by Lynch.
You got to respect how Florida State has been attacking, even though they are down a player. They've earned 3 or 4 corner kicks, free kicks. There's no quit in that team.
Davila. Looking for another one. Sandoval, no.
I know that looks promising, but Davila just should have taken it to the corner.
Yeah, they did not look like they were too concerned about burning any time. They went on the offensive. Southern Cal will take its time. Under 2 minutes to go for the championship.
Smart play by Nick. She just put it in the corner, earns another throw in.
Mark Krikorian's club averaging 3 goals a game. And have been denied shutout so far today by a stellar Southern Cal defense. Yamaguchi.
USC's defense has just been too good.
Look at Allie over there. He doesn't want to look at the clock.
1 minute remaining in the match.
1 minute to go. The improbable at the beginning of the season about to unfold for Southern California. They get the semifinal win over their arch rivals, defeating UCLA for the first time in 9 years. And now in the championship match, the 2-0 cushion on Florida State. A team that had never advanced past the second round in school history is about to take home the trophy.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Your 2007 national champions, the women of Troy. Southern California 2, Florida State 0.
The USC Trojans, your 2007 Women's College Cup champions.
Just the 7th program ever to win the title. And they do it on their first trip to the College Cup.
You gotta hats off to Coach Shaheen. He did a great job of making this team believe and then getting to play outstanding soccer here in the Women's Soccer Cup. They are worthy champions.
They played a terrific match today to knock off Florida State. And they're hoisting the hardware. USC winning the national championship. We'll take a break here in College Station and be right back to the 2007 Women's College Cup. Back at the College Cup, 2-0 Southern Cal over Florida State. Quint is with the women of Troy.
Coach, 11 months ago, you took this head coaching position. What made this possible?
Them, right here.
What are you most proud of?
Their effort, their they're just unwavering commitment to working hard and never giving up. I'm so incredibly proud of them. I love them all. I love my institution. I love my coaching staff, and I'm hoping to be back here again next year.
So what? Deal with it. What did that mean today?
Just with the fatigue and everything else that we've been through, just suck it up and get through it.
Allie, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
5 of their 6 wins in the NCAA tournament were shutouts, including the final. 2-0 on goals by Tomer and Courier, and they defeat Florida State for their first ever title, 2-0. For Quint Kesnick and Tony DeChico, I'm Beth Moen. So long from College Station, Texas.